Podcasters cannot help what they are. Their need to give their opinions leaves a trail. The Full Fat Podcast is like an itch. We cannot help it. I'm not going to do this the whole time. Thank God.
Why? I think you should. The whole podcast.
I think there'd be danger of it being like too funny. And I don't want anyone to laugh too hard.
Don't want to fall off their chair, do we?
No, exactly. Yeah. And I'm glad you told me, and you're always honest with me. You're a real Rupert friend, aren't you? Oh my God! Already we've been back on the air for like 2 minutes, less than that probably, and it's already the worst jokes you've ever heard.
Of course.
Indeed, on the podcast or in general. Would you say
that's
you're
why
a
they come
Rupert
here.
friend? That's why they come here. They don't come here. They don't come here no more. No.
Oh, well, yeah, no. How long's it been?
It's been 7 months, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 7 months since we did the last Full Fat podcast. And guys, I know it's been a while. A few of you have been asking when we're going to do another one. And now the day has come for Kenobi. I think, to be honest, we really enjoyed doing it. I think we just got fed up of lackluster Disney Plus content, and I think it burnt us all out.
Yep.
And to be perfectly honest, I do Full Fat videos for my job. I've got to be careful about making money and using my time wisely, amongst other things that we do. So I think just a podcast that's getting, sometimes a couple of K, sometimes less than a K, for the time that we put in and the editing time that we put in, it's just not worth it. It's not that we don't enjoy doing it, but, unfortunately, and it pains me to say this, we're adults now, our time is precious.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me, mate.
So yeah, but one big change we've obviously got is no Terry anymore. Her prophecy came true. We are now just two white guys with a podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I mean, in short, in the 7 months that we've not done a podcast, we broke up. It's got nothing to do with the podcast. No, in fact, it's got everything to do with the podcast. She came to me and she was like, I just can't do this podcast anymore.
They wanted to battle over who was the host, who was the main host.
Yeah. She was like, I'm the integral part of it here. And I was like, have you seen the name on the marquee? It's the Full Fat Podcast. But no, I think we're going to stay friends and stuff long term. But obviously, it would be a bit weird if she came on the podcast. I don't think we're quite ready to be friends yet. But she did send me a little message to say to you guys, and that is, thanks for having me. I've had a really fantastic time and learnt so much. I'm going to miss being the female perspective and keeping you boys in place. We're not. Please, peace and love. Follow me on Twitter. But then she didn't actually give me a Twitter handle. So I'm sure you guys can find her. It's Terry. Or, to give us some more revenue, you could go back to the previous podcasts where her name is written somewhere on the socials. So yeah, that'd be helping us out. But yeah, we wish her all the best. And if you still want to have her in your life, then you can follow her on social media. How was that, Charles? Did I do all right?
Yeah, you did good. You did very good.
Excuse me while I go and cry for a bit.
No,
but speaking of lost battles, Kenobi. What a segue.
Fantastic.
It's back. We're basically, I think the plan is we're going to do the podcast for, I was going to say 6 weeks, but there was 2 episodes this week, wasn't there? So it's more 4 or 5 weeks. And then I think the end of Kenobi will probably be the grand finale for the Full Fat Podcast. Maybe we might do one again in the future for funsies, or if there's something really fun worth doing. I know we spoke about doing that Duel of the Fates script read through, so maybe we'll do that at some point. But I think for now, our plan with this is just to have a bit of fun with it, shoot the shit about Kenobi, and we hope you guys enjoy it too.
Yeah, I remember you saying whenever there's something that pops up, we were just we'll just do something if we're in the mood. We'll do a podcast on it. But so for now you get Kenobi. Obviously, it would be weird if we didn't do one on Kenobi. And we'll see what happens from there, I guess.
It was quite surreal when we finally woke up this morning and walked in the living room, stuck it on, and it started playing. And it was like, oh wow, like I've not been very hyped because of how much Star Wars has burnt me recently. Or I say recently, it's been almost 3 years of torture now.
Oh
The Mandalorian.
my God, yeah.
I mean, Book of Boba Fett was, I think, the streaming equivalent of Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
How did you feel coming away from Book of Boba Fett?
Really sad. To the point where I felt like the line "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope," only meant more now. Yeah, meant the most it ever could right now. In that I feel like if this isn't good, like I'm done. I'm already like halfway done. You know, with Disney Star Wars and stuff, and just because of like post Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It kind of tarnished a lot of that stuff, but I feel like if this is not fire, then I don't know if I can keep giving them my money, you know.
No, I feel the same. Like the cinematic side of it got very corrupted, and I'm kind of thankful we haven't had a Star Wars film in a while. But at the same time, I don't want 3 streaming shows a year of varying quality.
Yeah.
And as much as this, this did look good, I still think, and indeed from watching these 2 episodes, it still looks very TV. Andor looks like, bizarrely, the best looking Disney Plus series. And who asked for that?
Was frustrating. That was frustrating. Watching that trailer, thinking like, I think what just frustrates me is like I associate Star Wars with like a locked off camera, very like kind of like a lot of tracking shots. Like I feel like as much as we criticize JJ, I do think like the way the visual language he created of the new Star Wars in Force Awakens was perfect to me. It was like the perfect blend of like what Star Wars was in terms of the way it was shot, but with like more modern, pacing of like the camera techniques and stuff. I thought that was really good, and I feel like the shows, particularly for Kenobi, for me, which I think you agree, Matt, in that he's one of the main attractions of Star Wars. He's a big character, and I feel like one, he deserved a movie in the first place, and 2, if they're gonna make a show, it better look like, Game of Thrones, True Detective style level quality of the way it's shot and stuff, And I think, the fact that some of it's a bit like of a floaty cam, I smell the budget a bit more. Whereas I'm watching the Andor trailer, everything's locked off. There's like everything looks super cinematic. It doesn't look like they're just standing behind some, that what's it called? What they call that new technology they've
volume.
got in the Mandalorian? Volume, that's it.
Which is amazing, but I think something like the
incredible.
Batman shows what it can really do when you actually have like physical things in the frame to give it some depth.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, that is recreating a real city, so I should cut them some slack in the fact that, like, with Star Wars, they're using volume to create unknown planets and worlds. But
still looks great though. Don't get me wrong. When it's used right in the Mandalorian stuff, it looks fucking incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just think sometimes we've seen one too many planes of Tatooine shots with like a single moisture converter or whatever, and then like what's his name, Cobb Vanth, just standing there. I mean, I love me some Cobb Vanth. But,
100%.
Cobb Vanth, you got me in love again. But where's the Cobb Vanth show? That's what I want over Andor.
He was the best thing in Boba Fett.
Andor's not a character. He was a supporting character to push Jin's story, and then he died. Yeah. It's so weird that like the plan for this is the first season, 12 episodes, 5 years before Rogue One, and then apparently the subsequent seasons are going to be leading up to the start of Rogue One. So we're going to get a prequel that leads into a prequel that leads into the first film when it's all said and done. Yeah. Who cares? Who needs that?
I don't. For a start, I don't think anyone was really hyped. I mean, the trailer I think made it. Was a little bit more like, okay, maybe this could be interesting, but I just feel like it's a shame. It's like, like you said, why couldn't it be someone like Cobb Vanth or someone new who, we don't know where they could go. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, like they're not dead yet, so like there's story to tell. Whereas like I just think And also, like, Andor dying in the future and getting a prequel is different to Kenobi dying in the future and getting a prequel, because I think the point of this Kenobi show, and what I think they've already started hanging it on, which is very good, is, you know, how did he get from being this wisecracking Jedi who goes through, like, the worst thing someone could go through and loses his surrogate son / brother to being this, like, kind of wise old sage who's, you know, even though everything's gone to shit by the time of A New Hope, he's still quite chipper, isn't he? Like, he seems like quite, you know, at peace with himself. So I think there's something interesting there. And I think there's something interesting in him finding out that Anakin's alive and confronting that and confronting those failures. Whereas with Andor, I'm like, he's a film character, a film supporting character, in the sense that, like, yeah, I get his deal. He's been in this fight since he was 6 years old, and he's there to push Jin's story. And I just like, I want more characters that are just so far removed from the Skywalker saga. I don't know how you feel, but I'm most excited out of all of these shows for the John Watts streaming series. No, I'm joking. I'm excited for Acolyte, because that's like set 100 years before any of this other stuff.
Yes.
And like, we're going to see a different time in the Jedi, and they've said it's going to be about how, like, the Jedi get militarized by the Republic. I'm like, that sounds interesting. That is what I want to see.
Yeah. And also,
how do you feel about... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, also, it just stops from, like, they have way more creative freedom. I think a lot of the times they're so concerned, particularly post Last Jedi, of upsetting the fans, that they kind of end up in this weird middle ground where they're kind of not really pleasing everyone. I mean, a little bit less so with The Mandalorian, but or they're just trying to give you everything that you want, but without setting it up. They kind of just chuck out, oh, here's a cameo, here's another cameo. Which is definitely what kind of the Disney Marvel stuff has started to become a little bit. And I feel like doing the Acolyte, for example, is just like to do completely fresh, completely new. You don't have to worry about that. If it pisses off the fans, it doesn't really matter, because it's so far removed from the original trilogy and, you know, the Skywalker saga that, you know, whatever, you know, just go mad with it, you know. And it's such an interesting world to delve into, so...
Whereas the John Watts show, like, it's just Stranger Things, which is already riffing on, like, Hamblin era 80s stuff. So it's a riff on a riff, and it's just going to be Stranger Things set in Star Wars. It's going to be an epic 6-part event, I imagine.
Wait, what's this?
They announced details for it yesterday. John Watts is doing a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Did you not know this?
No.
Oh, really? Not even the John Watts thing?
I knew John Watts was doing something Star Wars related, but I didn't know.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be like a group of kids that get stranded and they get a ship and they're going to try and make their way home or something. But, mate, so you don't know anything about it?
No.
Oh, mate. Guess who it's starring?
Oh, wait, I think I saw this.
It's your favourite actor.
Oh, God. Is it Jude Law?
It is Jude Law. Correct, Mundo. Yeah. As if my hype could get any lower. I don't find Jude Law an exciting actor, and, like, I think he picks the dullest projects.
This is going to bite us one day, isn't it? It's going to bite us.
Yeah. Like, we're going to be trying to make a project, and Jude Law's going to be interested. He's going to comb through our stuff and see that we've never found him very exciting. Like, you know what? I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, and this is what being an actor is. Like, you can't please everyone, and I find him very painfully dull, personally. Yeah. The only time I ever really like him is when he's playing a douche, like in, like, Contagion.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part of Captain Marvel is when he's like, come on, and then he gets, like, yeeted. That was the best part for me.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I'm not hyped for that at all. And also, I'm just sick of the Lucasfilm desperation of, well, our sister studio over at the Disney lot is doing really well with all of their stuff. The fans love it. So let's just pull Taika Waititi over. Let's just pull Kevin Feige over. Let's just pull Michael Waldron over. Let's just pull John Watts over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many more can we use? And also, it's just not very exciting for John Watts' career. Like, you know, I like Cop Car. He hasn't done anything like that since, and now he's just going down that pipeline of swapping between Star Wars and Marvel. Like, I mean, he's doing something original with George Clooney, isn't he, for Apple TV?
Yeah, I think he's good with like the emotional stuff in the movies, like the character stuff in the Spider-Man movies. But I think I just don't know if he's like particularly an action director. I think that's where he lacks. Do you know what I mean? Like I think particularly if you want, you know, if you're gonna do Spider-Man, you can do Star Wars or something. I feel like you know you got to deliver. Obviously, you got to deliver on the character, 100%. That's most important. But you know, you also got to deliver on the action. At the end of the day, these are action series. Blockbusters. And I just feel like Whereas my dream, I was thinking about this on the way home the other day. My dream my no way home. My dream for this Kenobi situation would have been that it would have been a movie, and that it would have been directed by Macquarie. That would be now. That's how you get me ready. You know what I'm saying?
Macquarie.
I think he's the guy.
Oh my god, we have only got 10 minutes on this. I swear when you do it with two people.
Yeah,
sorry,
picks and chooses.
Boys and girls, on our Zoom chat, we've now got 10 minutes left and we're going to have to do it again. Oh, that's annoying. That's going to slow it down. Oh, I thought there'd be some benefits getting rid of Terry. At least we'd have the unlimited Zoom call. But apparently not. Have you frozen? Hopefully we're back to some semblance of normality.
I hope so. I feel like we was getting some good stuff as well there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. About the state of Star Wars and how this is kind of, this is our last hope, isn't it? Kenobi.
Yes.
I think you're frozen again, have you? Or are you just
I'm alive.
docile?
I'm alive.
Right, every 2 minutes, if you just want to give me like some jazz hands or something, just so I know you're alive. Well, the thing is, when you've got these like shades on, when I'm like yammering on, you could just be like...
That's what I do most of the time.
Matt's going on one of his Jude Law rants.
He's talking about Doctor Who again.
Oh, I mean, to be fair,
lately, yeah.
All I will say about Doctor Who on this podcast is when Ncuti Gatwa was announced, you all fled to my David Tennant comes after Jodie Whittaker video essay on Full Fat Videos to tell me that this video aged badly, and then as soon as the set photos came out, that Mr. Tennant, much like I suggested, had a new costume, a new Sonic, Whittaker's TARDIS, and it looked indeed like he would be following on for some strange reason, for a purpose, having this new face. You all commented, you all came crawling back, didn't you, to tell me that the video aged well. Well, thank you. It has aged well, but it's not over yet. I can still eat my words. He could still be some sort of alternate reality doctor. But whatever happens, I'm just excited for what RTD is going to lay down. And there's only 90 minutes left of the Chibnall era, so it's a home run, basically. It's a straight shot. Anyway.
You can't eat your words more than I did, though, Matt, on this podcast.
Why? What did you do?
Do you remember my Jake Paul prediction? It couldn't have aged any worse, really. It couldn't have aged any worse. That's I mean, fair play,
Do you remember that time I said on the podcast that me and Terry would be together forever? Well, that aged badly. No. But yeah. This relationship didn't age well.
Top comment.
Top Gun. No, we can't talk about Top Gun. We won't get to Kenobi.
There'll be no Kenobi. Yeah, it'll be only Maverick.
But yeah, so we had this double bill this first week. I personally, just to give a brief overview, I think it's way better than Book of Boba Fett. Mm-hmm. It's got potential to be better than The Mandalorian. I like that it's taken its time with Kenobi. It's properly placed us in a situation where he's very dour and we're getting inside his headspace. And it's taking its time to deliver, he's got the lightsaber out. Very John Wick for him to dig it back up. There was a crucial moment in episode 2 where he's used the Force again. I just feel like we're building in a satisfying way. The script is structured in a really nice, neat way that we are getting towards him and Vader. And also, I really liked Moses Ingram's character, Reva. I like that she is in conflict with the other Inquisitors and that she is kind of like the runt of the litter. And I always like it when villains have their own kind of agenda that you want to see succeed as much as the heroes. Like, I want to see her do well.
Which is an underdog in
in
this realm of the Sith
so far.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's. I agree.
Yeah,
with you,
and I like
that.
Rupert Friend, I would have liked him to have been in it more, but he had an itch he could not scratch that Reva helped him with. Through his chest.
Through his heart, yeah.
But I liked that.
I thought that was good. I thought it was really good. I wasn't expecting it.
Also,
I like that a lot. And also...
I'm actually so excited for Sung Kang's character to keep going. I thought he was honestly just awesome. And shout out to Han, from the Fast family.
Yeah, obviously, shout out to our boy. I think I said to you that his helmet kind of looked a bit like Yoshimitsu's in Tekken 3. Yeah, exactly like that, actually. Exactly like you when you ride your bike.
I think actually...
You both look just as awesome.
No. You know what, viewers? You haven't even seen the half fit, because not only do I have to wear that, but I wear this underneath. And
that's the coolest part.
A bit cool, a bit hip. But then we do this, and we're going after Princess Peach, aren't we?
Yeah. I don't know why you wear the helmet, mate. I think that's so powerful, like in terms of the drip, that it will protect you from all crashes. No, but what I'm saying is that's so powerful. I'm just saying that's so powerful. It stops the brain injuries immediately, mate. Look at it.
The power of this image. Oh my god, he really ate that hat. He ate that role. We stand a king.
I feel like if you just had that on.
You can say.
I feel like if you just had that on without the sunglasses, you'd look like a Wes Anderson character. It's that kind of like dorky looking hat, isn't it?
Dorky?
Yeah, you know.
Look, as viewers of Full Fat Videos know, everything I do exudes cool. Alright.
Oh right, yeah. That's what we tell him, guys, because it's very fragile. There you go. So we have to help him, don't we?
Oh, it's so fragile. You have no idea. Anyway, I like where it's going. Also, I like that Jimmy Smits and Joel Edgerton, two of the best pieces of casting in the prequel trilogy, that were not given enough screen time, and now we're really getting some more juice with them. Like Joel Edgerton's presence in that scene where he's like, like you trained his father and stuff. I'm like, he's saying pretty stock lines. It's a pretty stock conversation, but like he is giving it. He's just got such an awesome presence. And yeah, it's just great to see him back in Star Wars.
Definitely. I really like that scene when she had the lightsaber up towards him, and the way he handled all of that. I was just like, that's like Edgerton gives it more. Not every actor can give that scene more than. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a throwaway character almost, and he just gives it so much because he's just a great actor. And I'm so glad that we're going to see more of him. I hope we do anyway.
I do agree with you in the fact that the floaty camera is a bit irritating. I think they're definitely trying to go for like a grittier Logan. And also, Deborah Chow said Joker vibe, which, the Logan stuff makes sense to me. The Joker vibe, less so. But anyway.
I don't understand that.
I think it's just become shorthand for, like, this is going to be dark and character-based.
Dark and gritty.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But what I did like was that opening set piece in Order 66, because it says to me that when the lightsaber battles do go off in the present narrative, they are going to go off. Because that was some sweet lightsaber action.
That was definitely intentional, right? That's got to be like
Deborah
Chow going, all right, guys, we've held off for a while. The one thing that everyone keeps complaining about, here you go.
Since 2015,
you're okay. You're in some safe hands.
Yeah.
I hope anyway.
Because even in The Mandalorian, like, there's not actually been a duel, has there?
No.
There's been some good like melee fights, but it's always like Ahsoka versus someone with I was gonna say titanium. What is it fucking called again? Oh, what's it bloody
metal
called?
staff.
Unobtainium.
Obtainium
Beskar, that's it.
Beskar, of course. Yeah.
God. I feel like a year ago I would have pulled that out of my brain quickly, and now I'm so forgetful of Star Wars.
No, it's true. Even earlier, we was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, it's Alderaan. Do you know what I mean? Like, I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
Almost. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's what it does to you, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, and there's so many other things that are more exciting at the moment, not just like Disney streaming content. But Yeah, I think the lightsaber battles are going to be sweet when they finally pop off. Yeah, I'm confident the action's going to be good because I liked all the fist fighting and stuff. I like that we're building up to Kenobi using his saber again. I think it's also quite bold in terms of, they want to deliver for the fans. And I think they've delivered in a way that they've gone, no, we're not going to give you a load of like filth in these first 2 episodes, even though we're premiering them at once. We're giving you story. We're giving you, where's Kenobi at? Who are these new villains? And I think the Inquisitors have a really nice presence. Benny Safdie and Kumail Nanjiani, both great supporting roles, I think. So they've used them really well. And it bodes well for the next 4 episodes, I think.
Yes, 100%. I also think that I liked the kind of, we think he's going to look after Luke and he's looking after Leia. I thought that was really cool. Because it makes sense. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? Surely Leia's just in just as much danger as Luke is, And he doesn't know who's more Force sensitive.
And it all makes sense in terms of, I understand why Reva would kidnap her because she's a powerful political pawn in terms of she's the daughter of Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa, and they're friends. She's friends with Kenobi. Also, crucially, it doesn't fuck with the continuity of Luke and Kenobi, and it pulls Kenobi off Tatooine. So I'm very happy with all of that. And I hope we don't go back to Tatooine, ever.
I'm fucking sick of it.
Book of Boba Fett really well and truly killed it. I was speaking to one of our friends yesterday, and because we were talking about Rodriguez and From Dusk Till Dawn, great movie, and I was saying like Robert Rodriguez Star Wars starring Tamira Morrison's Boba Fett just sounds like such a wet dream, and I'm so sad incredible. It became a Tatooine sitcom that ends with we're not suited to this. We're not suited to this.
Where Boba Fett is like the nicest dude ever that ever walked the Star Wars universe.
Just sucks. You had a real opportunity there to like give us like a bit more moral complexity with a character that has done some shitty things. But no, he's just this saint now. He's not even a good crime boss, is he? Like, I could tell you're not suited for it, mate, when you're not chopping off any heads, you're not laying down the law, you're not being a crime boss at all, are you? And it's also, you can so tell that none of this is planned because he slaughters Bib Fortuna in Mandalorian Season 2. He just shoots him off the chair, which is a Boba Fett thing to do. And then by the time we come to the Boba Fett show, it's like, oh no, he's turned his, he's a new man now. Oh really? Yeah. Well, 5 minutes before, in continuity, you were shooting this motherfucker. And that's after you had your like spiritual journey with the Tuskens. So none of it checks out.
No, it's true. I feel like Disney have become a bit afraid of like anti-hero characters recently. I feel like there's more like 3-dimensional characters in Pixar movies than there are in like Star Wars at the moment in terms of what they do with Boba Fett. It's kind of weird. It's like, why, you have more conflicting characters in like some of their Pixar films than they do with Boba Fett. It's like Boba Fett fucking disintegrates people. Vader literally has to stop the man from blowing up, setting Han on fire.
That's so it's like, as well, like, even the Mandalorian, he's reminding me because of the disintegrations. I'm like, he's a darker character, and he's got like a son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like the ultimate dad. Everyone wants to be him or be with him in the fandom. So it's strange the way it's all gone. But I think a character like Reva in this gives me more hope that we're going to get a bit more complexity in the show.
Me too.
Also, it looks like Kumail's character being this fake Jedi. There's a bit of a grifter, but he's like, when I see a real Jedi, I'm willing to be brave and stand up to her. And, that was all interesting. And I like the...
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I think... sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, I think it's a good idea that the Kamal stuff to have, like... It makes total sense to me that there'll be people out there pretending to be Jedi for money, I just thought that was really cool, and particularly when I like the bit where just to get more context of what the Jedi are seen, how the Jedi are seen by like normal people who live in the Star Wars society, sort of thing. But, like, even the guy who Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, who that guy where he's like, oh, do you? I didn't even know Jedi could bleed. Like, it's just nice to have little things like that. It's like, yeah, of course you wouldn't think. You'd think you'd see him as these like gods almost,
Especially in these like poorer planets, they're like unicorns already, and now they've all gone away. They're the stuff of legend.
Literally, yeah.
But yeah, I also think it it looks better than Boba Fett because there's a lot more practical stuff in terms of like when they're on the rooftops. You know, it looks like a lot of that is more real, and even just having things in the foreground and background, what there's around them, or like the market that they're walking through. It's like that's real. Like it gives it such a more visceral feel, and I really feel like we're going through a city rather than just a volume soundscape. So it's a weird thing. Like I think I am impressed, and I think it's done everything right so far. But there's still time for it to screw up, and also like as you say, if like you turned to me, didn't you, when it ended, and you said if Boba Fett hadn't disappointed, and if we hadn't have gotten Rise of Skywalker, and if Mandalorian Season 2 hadn't gone down the whole cameo route, would we be more excited coming off the back of these 2 episodes? And I think undeniably yes.
Yes, we would be very excited, I think. But particularly because it's not a mission of the week as well. It's it's a through line story. I think that's another thing that's nice about it. I just think like you said, I think we've been hurt before, haven't we? We've been hurt too many times, so we're like a bit nervous. Going, we don't want to chuck our heart and soul into it just yet, because we've been burned before. We've been down this road before, Neo.
It's how I feel with. Like people like raved about Shang-Chi, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like Black Widow is fine. All these movies are fine, but it's just like after we've had so much of this stuff, and after so much of it has been average, like a movie like Shang-Chi, I'm like, I kind of wanted it to blow me away for it to be impressive. It's the same thing with the Star Wars thing. It's like we've had so much stuff now, and we're getting more. We're getting Andor, we're getting Mandalorian, we're getting Ahsoka. So I know we're going to get bombarded further. So this can't be just another Shang-Chi in terms of quality. It's got to be up here. It's got to be like, oh, these next 4 episodes need to be something memorable in Star Wars that I'm going to come away from in years to come and be like, you know what, that was when they got it right.
Yep, I agree. And particularly even after, in both cases, talking about Marvel and Star Wars, in that, Marvel we had Infinity War Endgame, and with Star Wars we had The Last Jedi. Take what you want. I think it's incredible, one of the best Star Wars films. And, after you deliver those, you can't then go to fine. You can't go back. You can't go back to fine. Like, it needs to be great. Like you said with the Shang-Chi thing, it's like, yeah, it was alright. But like, after you've had Infinity War and Endgame, it's got, and also just the entire phases in general, it's got to give us something that we haven't seen already. And
like, I think Shang-Chi is a great Marvel movie from 2011.
Yes, exactly.
If you swapped Shang-Chi and Thor around, and I saw Thor last year, I'd have the exact same opinion. I'd be like, well, this is alright, but like, I've seen this several times now.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this in relation to the other Disney Plus content that's like been like a 6-part event. And I'm like, it's definitely better than like the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight. I don't know if it's necessarily better than Loki, definitely. But I did really enjoy Loki, and I really enjoyed the premise of that. But it's better than like Falcon Winter Soldier and all that kind of stuff. So my hope is that it keeps getting better and better. We've seen Vader now, and also I loved the way they played that with Kenobi. It seems like character is coming first.
Yes.
I love that he seemed freaked out about it, and it was like, oh shit, like you don't realise until you're there as the audience member, like, oh fuck, I guess he wouldn't necessarily know that Vader's a thing. He wouldn't necessarily know that Anakin survived, or he wouldn't necessarily know that Vader is Anakin. He might just think, oh, that gimp is Palpatine's new apprentice. So it's interesting. Yeah, no,
literally.
They forged that connection again. Also, I love that, like, he just says Anakin, it cuts to him, like, you know what I mean? Like,
that was great.
I hope they'd use more of that kind of bridge across the stars, because I really like that in Last Jedi. I think that's one of the best ideas they've ever had.
Same. I hope they do that more. That'd be good.
I tweeted that, and whenever you tweet something about Last Jedi, you usually get, like, there's always, like, some hate on Twitter. That's kind of, the way Twitter works, obviously. But I was actually shocked. I had about... I can't remember how many quote tweets it was in the end, but it was quite a few. And it was all positive. It was all like, oh, this scene's so well edited. I love this bit. Da, 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 da. And even people that were like, I don't really like the movie, but this is really good. And that gave me a lot of hope. Is that the filmmaking of The Last Jedi and what it actually sets out to do, rather than what people wanted it to do, is something that I hope people... Yeah. And I hope, like, it's, that people can connect with more and more. Like, I've done a couple of Last Jedi videos, and my favourite comments I ever get is, oh, you know what, I really hated this movie, or it wasn't for me, but you've shown a side to it that I think, you know, I've really thought about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that is good, actually, or it's made me want to go back and rewatch it. I'm like, that's fantastic to me. Like, that's the best thing I could fucking hear, because, you know, it is a good movie, and
it is a good movie.
Snoke always sucked. I'm glad they chopped him in half.
Yeah, I know. But not even that. I just think that the creating of Kylo Ren being the new, you know, doing what Anakin can never do, just was that opened it up for such an interesting third movie that obviously we didn't get. But but yeah, I'm glad we're here now. And I agree with you about the holding off and the Anakin reveal for the Kenobi series, because I was actually I was shocked. I was like, oh yeah, of course he doesn't. I forgot. Of course, there's an opportunity for us to see the moment that he finds out Anakin's still alive. Like, I didn't. Yeah. How did we even? You know, how did we forget that was even a thing? You know. And I think it's exciting. I like where these have ended up, and I think that hopefully, it seems that we've seen a majority of the stuff already from the trailers in these 2 episodes, which means they might have hidden all the juicy shit that is to come. Let's hope, anyway.
I hope so, because they absolutely can afford to do these things. They can afford to just put all of the footage from the first 2 episodes in the marketing. We know we're gonna watch it. It's Ewan McGregor. It's Kenobi. You've already revealed Vader and Hayden Christensen. Like, we're gonna watch it, so you don't have to show too much. My hope is next week, Vader, Reva, that gets an interesting dynamic. We get more with Kenobi. I don't know how much we need more of Leia. I think it's been interesting, but obviously the further you develop that relationship, the more you kind of risk making continuity a bit iffy. Although I do feel like out of her and Luke, because she is, you know, like a princess, and because she's already involved in these big galactic events, I think you can get away with her doing more. I even think like she could know him by name and know who he is. It doesn't necessarily contradict what happens in A New Hope, because they never actually meet in that movie, do they? She just does the Obi-Wan Kenobi, you served my father during the Clone Wars. The only thing with that is obviously it does kind of imply they've not met. But I don't think it matters too much. That's like true. A lot of, you know, like they also imply in A New Hope that Vader and Kenobi haven't met in between films, but you can interpret the sacred texts however you want. You know, I was but a learner when I left you. Now I am the master. Like, that could mean anything. Kenobi could kick his ass at the end of this season, and that's why he's still got much to learn. Actually, that reminds me, in terms of quotes, I'm just glad that 2 episodes in, we haven't really had a single, not that I noticed anyway, a callback to a previous line. He's not said your move or hello there or anything like that, because that would be performative bullshit.
Yes,
that would be fan service. It's, you know, like, instead, like, I like that they held off on him speaking for a little while. I could have done with that for a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And I think create new quotes. Don't need to use the old ones. Do you know what I mean? Don't need to use fucking hello there again.
They come to me and they say, David, why don't you use some old quotes? And I say, why not some new ones? Yes, why not make some ones? New quotes?
Exactly.
It's about
100%.
The future, yeah?
The vision, yeah?
It forward, yeah?
Don't do it if you can't cut it.
Obi-Wan sees Vader. Oh, fucking hell. I've got a tattoo.
No, Obi-Wan sees...
Yately.
Obi-Wan sees Vader.
The Office, comedy classic.
UK Office,
indeed.
Yeah.
Fuck John Krasinski, I'm so sick of him. No, actually, you know what? You liked that Doctor Strange spoilers. Quick tangent. You liked that Mr. Fantastic casting, didn't you?
Yeah.
I could not think of a more boring choice, honestly. I just think it proves like fan casting's never the one. Like, people wanted him because he looks a bit like the bearded Mr. Fantastic, and because he has a famous wife who's also an actor. So theoretically, they'd be a good couple on screen, even though, according to blind items, that relationship isn't going very well. I mean, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Well, Emily Blunt as Sue Storm though.
No, but that's the thing. Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. That I could get behind. That I think's interesting. Even though she should have been Black Widow, or Captain Marvel. But the two of them together.
Scarlett Johansson's great as a Black Widow.
Yeah, no, she's good, but I don't know. I think I'd buy Emily Blunt more as a super spy. Honestly,
I see what you mean.
I think you're blinded by your devotion to Johansson.
She's fantastic. Actress.
Your simp devotion.
Actor.
I think she's a fantastic actor.
She's in. I think she's her. The thing about all the movies she's done, Under the Skin is a fucking classic in my eyes.
Yeah, I think she's amazing in Under the Skin. I think she's great in Marriage Story. She's great in Lost in Translation.
Marriage Story, she's fantastic.
But I don't know if I love her Black Widow. She's fine.
Yeah, I think it's Black Widow as a character, how they sort of deal with her, though, to be fair. Like, even with Emily Blunt there, with the same writing, same you're still going to feel the same, I think.
I just think I'd rather have, like, with the Black Widow movie, I just think the mistake is always making her a superhero. It's like, she's a superhero when she's on the Avengers, but when she's by herself, I want a spy movie. You know what I mean? I want her going to events undercover, getting information, like some espionage, as you would say.
Yes, exactly. Some espionage.
I don't want to see her skydiving, having a sword fight in midair. It's just like, that stuff is superhero shit. It's cape shit, don't get me wrong. But I just don't know if it's right for that character. I'd rather see her do something a bit more subdued, because I think that would be cooler, ultimately. Why can't we see a Black Widow trailer that looks as good as Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1?
It's true. That's true. It's a very good point, actually. Why can't it be like that?
Because it doesn't need to be. Disney don't need it to be.
Yeah,
they don't need it to be anything but the bare minimum. And
it's like this Kenobi trailer. Do they really need a trailer? They could just drop the poster and we'd all go see it.
Yeah.
All go. Who's not watching it?
It's gotten to this point now where it's like the twin Disney franchises, the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, is so deeply ingrained. And I see a lot on, like, a lot of these, like, places for discourse, like Twitter, like Instagram, all these things of, like, if people complain about the CGI or the fact that things look a bit undercooked or they look very flat, you always see the classic, let people enjoy things, like, stop being a hater, And it's like, I think people's main problem is just that this stuff has become so popular and so successful that they're not pushing the boat out like they used to. And, it's when it's choking other things coming out and having a chance at being seen by audiences, that's a problem. Like, Doctor Strange was put on, I think it was like the AMC in New York. I saw someone tweet about, like, it was like literally on like every 20 minutes. Like, it was just wall to wall screenings of Doctor Strange. It's like, that is exactly what Scorsese feared. It's exactly what James Gray was recently talking about. We need a variety of genre of, and even it's not even like we need a variety of genre. We just need a variety within the action adventure genre. Like, you look at something like Top Gun Maverick, and that even proves within the genre that you could do more. So I just it's
the bullying, baffling. And that's why I don't mind people. I usually don't like when people sort of shit on other people's, like, when they're making films and stuff, because it's so difficult to make a movie. We all know it's a miracle to make a movie, let alone it be good. And I don't mind as much with Disney because of the bullying they're doing with the theatre situation. I mean, if people know about what happened in 2017, 2018 with Force Awakens and The Hateful Eight, where Tarantino literally had a deal with Cinerama, where, which was literally funded. The film was shot in the scope, made to be seen in that cinema.
Yeah,
and they tried to bully their way to have all the screens and said, if you don't do it, then you're not going to be able to have our Star Wars movie. And it's like, well, of course they have to. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting to take away from these. You have all the money in the world. You don't. It's greed. It's literally greed. Literally,
and that's what annoys me. Is like a lot of these Marvel and Star Wars fans love to watch narratives about rebellion and about standing up for the little guy and about Captain America saying, "No, you move." but they are more than willing to ignore. You know, like, say what you will about whether you enjoy them or not as films. You know, we enjoy cape shit. You know, we love cape shit.
We love that shit.
Superheroes. But
yeah,
it is becoming increasingly hard to ignore the business practices that they employ to usher out other movies and other forms of filmmaking. Like, and it's not right. And if you want to ignore that, then that's up to you. But I think it flies in the face of the morals of both of these franchises. You know, like, what would those characters that you love so much say about that? I don't think they think that's right.
Kenobi wouldn't like it.
No. It's the equivalent of like Oscorp coming in and just a hostile takeover. You know, would Peter Parker stand up for that? Would Luke Skywalker stand up for that? Of course they fucking wouldn't. So why are you standing up for it? Anyway, that's my back to Jude Law.
Yeah. But sorry, no, Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I think the thing is with it, we haven't got too much to say because we're a bit trepidatious. Is that the right word, Matt?
Yes.
Of the next, you know, where it goes, because like we said, we've been hurt before. But what we saw, we liked. We did like it.
We're
didn't necessarily blow us away.
The next episode.
But yes, we are.
I want to see more before I speak too soon.
Yeah, same.
It's been better than I thought it was going to be, but I don't want to get too excited because, you know, even something like Moon Knight, the first episode, I was like, oh, this is quite a charming premise. I like Ethan Hawke's motivations. I like that we're doing this whole premise of him waking up in between the different states. Like, this feels like something that Benson and Moorhead would be attached to, and then it just went to shit. It just became every other Disney Plus Marvel show. So, you know, there's still time for these things to not be good, and I think it's always good to be wary of that. I gave up with Moon Knight after episode 4. I didn't even finish it.
I haven't seen episode 4. I haven't seen past 3.
I thought 3 was the kind of abysmal low point for me.
Not good. I think it was 4. Just I forgot.
Yeah,
which isn't a good sign, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. Like, I watched it out of, you know, kind of once you're in with episode 4. I thought Benson and Moorhead did a good job of giving us some decent horror visuals, especially for the MCU, especially for like a Disney joint. And then episode 5 came around and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can be arsed. Like, you know what actually killed it for me? Do you care about spoilers?
Maybe best not.
Okay.
I might watch it. I might just finish it.
You
just,
Disney
just
shill.
Well, do you know what though? I do think you just nailed it on the head though. What you said a minute ago of you said for a Disney show, and I'm kind of annoyed by this because I feel like we apologise for them for the quality of it. Well, oh, you know, they did some horror stuff for a Disney thing. You know, it's like we just had this Temple of Doom is just straight out fucking horror. You know, that movie was crazy, and it's such a different sequel to the other movies. That's what I loved about it as a kid, because I was like, this is so different, and like different, and it was dark, even though, you know, it's for kids. You know, it's an adventure movie, and I feel like we've become, and it's got craft behind it, and I feel like this we kind of a bit apologetic. We're like, when anything's like just over a little bit fine, we're like, oh yeah. But it's Disney. They have all the money in the world. Everything should be exceptional.
Blockbusters been in the last couple of years. Tenet, Dune, The Batman, Top Gun Maverick. Like, none of this shit's coming from Disney.
No, it's not.
And I you know, I enjoyed Doctor Strange a lot, but like, again, it's horror for a Disney film. You know, it's not Raimi Unleashed, is it?
Raimi Unleashed. I want to see that.
Star Wars: The Raimi Unleashed.
Raimi Unleashed.
And it's also, you know, like, I think Taika Waititi's going to knock it out of the park with Thor. I think that's going to be fun. And I think he always, you know, with Ragnarok, there's always something a bit more to chew on with it. He's a very smart director. Definitely. But it still looks very flat. I think you can get away with it more with more cosmic visuals because everything's unreal anyway. But, you know, there's still some shots in that trailer where I'm like, oh, why are they just against the green screen so obviously? Why is Jane Foster's helmet CGI? Like, these things that don't need to be CGI. And they have the money. They have the means. They are choosing not to because they want to run VFX artistry into the ground because they're not unionised and they can do whatever the fuck they want. And again,
Yeah.
If you're someone that ignores that on purpose because you want your cape shit, it's not right. Like, it's just, you know, I think what James Gray said recently, did you see that in the end? I think he nailed it so hard. Like,
yeah, he did.
You know, I like Aquaman, but he's right. Like, what memorable lines are there from that movie? You know, how does it challenge you and challenge our worldview? It doesn't.
Yeah.
I also like
that Coppola thing.
What, recently?
Yeah. Where he said, like, I don't know if it was real or not, but it was basically saying, like, I think Scorsese was being too nice about
Oh, no, that is real. That is real. Yeah.
It is real. Yeah.
They're despicable.
I was like, despicable.
No, it's.
That's
I think
from the
it's...
Godfather himself.
You know, if we keep making movies, all genres, the police, they don't bother us. But if we just keep making cape shit, then the police will go after us. How was that? Is that right? You know what?
He was right. A bit of an accent on the top.
It was no better or worse than the impressions of Godfather characters in that new Paramount Plus show.
That's true.
We've got less than 10 minutes. So, any more thoughts on the start of Kenobi and what are you hoping for from the next couple of weeks?
I'm hoping for a definitive Kenobi story where we you know, this is the final time, in my opinion, that we should see the man. You know, this is it, and I want to go balls to the wall with his character. I really want to dig into who Kenobi is as a Jedi. Where does he place? What separates him from other Jedi? How can this man redeem himself from, you know, the carnage he caused, essentially, to some degree, and deliver on some absolute filthy action. Yep. I want to see, you know, let's go back to the prequel. Let's say, you know, give us the other. Let's try and top this lightsaber fight. Let's you know, okay, we haven't had our lightsaber fights since the prequels, really. Okay, why don't we try and top it? Fuck it. Why not? Why not? We're at a teaser TV show right now, right? We've got young Lord Vader, right? Where, you know, there's so much we could do with that. People love Vader. People have been dying for Vader. They got a little sniff of Vader in Rogue One, and all of a sudden they call it the best movie ever, even though, you know, it's a meh kind of film, because it has Vader in it. And now it's time to deliver on some fucking Vader, some absolute Vader. We got Anakin Skywalker. I want to see that shit. I want to see the world expanded more. I want to see a proper fucking story that's cinematic as fuck. All right, and if it doesn't deliver on that, I'm sorry. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've got to go out your way to fuck that shit up. And the blueprint was already laid by Matt's 2018 video on Kenobi. So, you know, if they can't do that, well, you know, what do? We write our own Kenobi script, and then we do a read through. if it doesn't pull in, no, I'm joking. No, but yeah, so far so good. We'll see.
I think you've summed up pretty much all my thoughts on what I'd want from this Kenobi show. I would add Moses Ingram's number, because she's crazy fine. She's crazy fine. And that's about it, really. So come back next week, or don't. Maybe you've decided, you know, just two white guys with a podcast is not for me, and that's
ranting
fine.
about Disney.
You don't want to hear you will not sit there and hear Disney and Jude Law be slandered. No, you know what the best thing is? I like the idea that Jude Law was actually a fan. He was watching. He was like, good on you, mate. Love the podcast. Love the fact it's back. He sat there. He's all ready, and then he's like, well, I'm just joking. No one of Noah watches this.
I feel like all of those 7 months that we missed, I feel like all of that and anger from Disney just came out of us, didn't it? It just, like, the state of the cinema at the moment, it just came out. But everyone go see Everything Everywhere all at once. But anyway,
Top Gun Maverick,
and Top Gun Maverick especially as well. Actually,
is there anything else juicy out at the very? Oh, and we haven't seen Men yet, have we? But I like the trailer. So
no,
we'll see.
I like the trailer. I think The Northman's out in some selected theaters, which you should go see.
Definitely go see The Northman.
Definitely see The Northman.
And you know what? We had quite a laugh at Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So if that
was great. That was great as well. That was good.
Yeah.
I actually think. There's been a little bit of good stuff actually this year.
I agree. Yeah,
some good stuff this year.
No, it's been decent. It's been decent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next week, podcasters. Scratch the itch. Kill the Jedi. Make sure you drink your milk.